Welcome to the Thrill of Driving podcast, and this week we are talking riding with our two biking experts. It's been a very hectic week for motorcycling. We've got the latest issue of Fastbikes India, which we'll talk about. We'll also talk about EICMA, the motor show that happens in Milan, the biggest motorcycle show in the world. This is the Thrill of Driving podcast. If you're watching it on YouTube, it's on the Evo India channel. That's at Evo India. I'm Sirish Chandran, SIRISHCHANDRAN, across Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all of that. And we have Abhishek Wairagade, that's at Abibi, ABHI, and Aatish Mishra, that's at Whatish, WHATESH on social media, right? So let's dive straight in with the latest issue of Fastbikes India. This is the magazine. It's out on stands right now, and it's got Abhishek getting his knee down on the KTM 790 Duke.
Also now, the Triple RS.
And also the Triple RS. Yeah, okay.
And who's getting his face down on the GS?
No, that Abhishek was not well. He couldn't do all of that, right? So let's dive into the 790 Duke, right?
Yes.
It's a motorcycle that everybody's been talking about. There's been so much of build-up over it, so much of anticipation.
Yes.
It's finally here. Is it too expensive?
It's not expensive,
Okay.
not at all.
So for what you get, it's not too expensive. It's also got cornering ABS and all of that. So it's got a whole suite of electronics to go with that mad motor. It's great to ride.
It is great to ride, and none of the bikes in that segment offer what the Duke has right now.
Which is what?
Which is IMB control, ABS, you got traction control, you got wheelie control, you got launch control, so many
So
things.
basically all that electronic package.
All the electronics.
And what else?
The engine, obviously. It behaves like a grown-up 390, but it's not really grown-up. It's really fast, it's relentless, it'll go to the red line.
Is it as refined as a 390?
It's more refined.
Yeah, I mean that in a sarcastic way. By
It is much more refined.
Because the 390 is not really a refined motor, is it?
Yeah, it's got two counterbalancer shafts, so it's way more refined.
So it's almost like a Japanese motor?
No, it's got a soul. It's not actually Japanese. Sorry,
Well,
I
don't
own a Kawasaki, but
but the engine is a bomb.
It is a
This what you've written over here, orange bomb.
It
that
is
actually is a bomb.
It is a bomb. Yes,
Right?
absolutely.
And more impressive is the handling. I mean, they call it the scalpel, and it's all about that sharp front end and about being able to fling it into corners with such precision. And
so you've also ridden it at the track,
yeah.
but Abhishek has ridden the Street Triple RS also,
Yeah,
and I think that's the bike that will go up against the
that's the
790 Duke.
benchmark. It's been the benchmark
That's
so
been
far.
a benchmark.
Yeah.
To me, the Triple RS is a fantastic motorcycle. I wanted to buy it, but then something else came along and I couldn't resist.
Yeah.
But I think the Street Triple RS is superb.
Yeah.
This new bike, I don't think there's too much of change over the earlier one.
No, it's not. It meets Euro 5 Rex. That's basically about it.
It's got eyebrows now.
Yeah, it's got eyebrows from the Tiger, and also the cluster is going to be featured on the Tiger. I told you first, remember that. We found that on the proto bikes which were there at the on display at the launch.
Oh, so you're doing some journalistic work, Abhishek?
So
I'm impressed.
Also, the Tiger's got electronic suspension now, 800 also. So yeah, remember that.
So when is that coming to India?
It was. I thought it was going to be at EICMA this year. It's not happening. So I think it'll be next year. Now it's going to be late.
So it'll come to India middle of next year.
2021. I'm guessing.
2021.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you want to buy a Tiger, buy the Tiger right now. Don't wait for the electronic suspension. Nobody waits a year and a half for a bike, right?
Or else you can have the 390 Adventure.
So we'll come to that. But let's just focus right now.
Yeah.
790 Duke or Street Triple RS?
It's very difficult. If I'm going to the track, I'm going to be buying the Triple RS. If I'm not frequenting the track as much, I'll buy the 790 to use every day. For the ground clearance alone, that's about 186 mm. That's like an SUV.
Okay.
And it's not so committed as a Triple RS if you see.
Okay.
And it's got so much space. It's just usable.
Okay.
And if you want to have fun, you can take it to the...
what will be better priced? The KTM, obviously?
The KTM, it's cheaper by about almost 2.5 lakhs.
2.5 lakhs. So you save a bit of money, plus you get a lot more. In terms of electronics.
Yeah, in terms of electronics.
But the Street Triple RS has got better suspension.
It's
better
more
suspension, better
more powerful,
tires,
better tires.
Adjustable suspension, top spec. It's got
So it's got Olin Showa, right?
Showa, both, yeah.
Yeah, it's got great tires.
Again, yeah.
And now
it's got
so what brakes does it have now?
M50s,
Yeah,
the
so those are
monoblocks.
Top
Which
spec
top
brakes.
spec, again.
If you can afford it, still buy the Street Triple RS.
Still buy the Triple RS, no doubt about that.
Right?
Yeah.
But if you want to get into this mid-weight motorcycling segment, the KTM is a brilliant way to get into it.
Also, it's more usable.
It's more usable also.
Yeah.
Okay.
For everyday usage, it's much better.
I think that's the first time I've heard anybody talk about KTM
KTM
being,
and being
usable,
usable,
right?
yeah.
Which is a good thing.
It's a great thing.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So that's in the latest issue of Fastbikes India. It's the November issue. Go and check it out. It's on stands now. You can also buy it from our website, gtopublishing.com. Also, it's available on Amazon. So have a look at that. And now let's go into the big biking news, right? Great motorcycles at EICMA. Really great motorcycles. And we start with the bike that all of us have been talking about.
Yes.
Made in India. Made its world premiere at EICMA. It's the 390 Adventure.
Absolutely.
Finally it's here.
But I'll be honest with you, the press conference was a little bit of a letdown. We waited the whole day for that 6 o'clock press conference and they gave the 390 Adventure a 2-minute segment.
Yeah.
2.5
less
minutes.
than that.
But
Barely.
let's look at it this way. KTM is not doing the press conference in EICMA for Wattish and Abibi sitting in Pune, right? So no, they're looking at the bigger picture. They've got some really nutty bikes which we'll talk about. But the 390 Adventure, made in India, okay, it's coming to India. Is it coming at IBW?
It is.
Yeah.
Right? So the 390 Adventure is coming to India at India Bike Week.
That's first week of December.
First weekend of December in Goa. KTM is also doing a lot of promotions around it. I believe some 2,000 bikers are going to be riding down.
Yeah.
So the horde of Katumas are going to be heading down to Goa. I remember a couple of years ago when I rode down with Harley Davidson, there was like a stream of these Harleys going down to Goa. So now it'll be all you KTM guys going down to Goa. So are you going?
We are going. But
okay, both of you are going?
Yeah.
You still have a KTM, right?
I won't be taking that.
Oh, come on, man. You're a Katumer, no?
Look what he's wearing. He's changed.
You changed colors, huh?
He's changed cam.
So anyway, the 390 Adventure, what do you like about it?
Lot many things. There has been a cry about the alloys on social media, but I don't know what is that about. If you look at it, it's not an all-out adventure bike.
So just to clarify that, a lot of guys on social media are saying that it does not have wire spoke wheels, and so we're not going to buy it.
Yeah.
Does it make so much of a difference?
No, they're not saying we're not going to buy it. They're saying it's not as hardcore as they want
I've seen people say, we're not going to buy it. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So, I don't get it. Maybe I'm not that clued into this whole motorcycling business, right? And I don't really ride adventure. Not that good at it. Why does it make so much of a difference?
See, I've got an Xpulse also. I've got a sled also. Both of them have spoked wheels. And
Is he also going to talk about the scooters that he has?
No, don't worry.
So it's only a 45-minute podcast. Huh?
yeah. So I've been jumping around on the Xpulse. I've also bent the rim once. But what helps is I could go to Bombay even after that. If it was an alloy, that I would have been punctured. And I would have to put the bike on a truck and get it back. But
okay. Number 2, would the alloy bend as easily as a spoked rim?
It wouldn't, but again, you can bend.
So there's slightly lesser chances of you bending a rim with an alloy, right?
You might break the alloy, but the steel, the rim, the spoked wheel, it won't break.
So for off-road riding, it is better to have spoked wheels.
Yes,
yeah,
always.
Because you might bend the rim, but you won't break it.
Break anything.
You can get to civilization. Yeah. Because the whole point of adventure motorcycle is to get out of civilization.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So that's one thing. But will that stop you from buying a 390 Adventure if you are in the market for an ADV?
No. So if you look at the specs, it's not an all-out ADV.
Okay.
The travel is barely 170.
Okay.
At the front, 177 at the rear.
So how does it compare with an Xpulse?
It's about 30 mm less.
30 mm less than an Xpulse.
30 mm less. And also, it's heavier than the Xpulse by about 14. No, it's going to be heavier by about 16 kg.
But it's so much more powerful.
Yeah, but it's twice as more powerful. Right?
Yeah, but I'm talking about the off-road ability.
Or thrice as more.
No, I still think the weight is.
No, I'm talking about the jumping bit and the alloys and the spokes. That's it. Nothing else.
Yeah, but
in terms of the power,
but I've seen people jumping Tigers, and people jumping big GSs.
With spoked wheels.
With spoked wheels.
With spoked wheels. With spoked wheels. Yeah, but guys jumping GSs, you have my respect, man.
Yeah, absolutely. And owners do that. I've seen owners do that. I don't know. Whatever. I don't know. It's very difficult. I wouldn't do that on my sled.
Because you can't do it or because you're too scared?
I'm scared. I don't want to break anything. It's
I guess people who own
right now.
people who own GSs can afford to break a
Exactly.
few things. And the thing is with the GS, if you drop it also, nothing really breaks.
Nothing happens. Yeah.
So that's the good part about the bike.
That's great. Yeah.
So 390 Adventure, it gets your vote?
Yes.
9 out of 10, 10 out of 10?
I'll ride and say, I don't know. I can't say. Right now on paper, it's 8 on 10.
8 on 10. You are the
8.5 on 10.
8.5 on 10. So they had that, but you also tell me that there is a 250 adventure coming. So now talk to me about that.
Okay, now the 390 is going to be the flagship, like how it is in the range. The 390 Duke is the flagship. You get everything on it. You get a TFT, you get Metzger's, you get ride-by-wire. The 250 does not get any of that.
Okay.
So I expect the 390 to be priced between 3 to 3.5. But the 250, which is going to be the surprise package at IBW, I hope, will not get the adjustable suspension.
Okay.
It'll be much easier. It will not be as tall as the 390. The 390, the seat height is 855, which is going to put away a lot of buyers, I think. Looking at it, it's going to be tall.
Okay.
How much is the Xpulse?
825.
So this is like 30 mm more than
30
an
mm
Xpulse.
more. That's
Okay.
what, almost 1.5.
How much is your sled?
860.
So
Okay.
it's this much off.
So
almost
tiptoe,
there.
basically.
Yeah. It's going to be difficult. The 250 will be more conservative. It will be more usable, I think. Also, it will be much cheaper. It should be priced between 2 to 2.5.
That's a sweet spot, huh?
That's
How much is the Xpulse?
Xpulse is 1.3. It's
1.3.
on road. That's on road I'm talking about. It's 1 lakh ex showroom. That's like
so it'll
half,
be twice as much
Twice
as
as much, but
Xpulse, but also
almost twice as much. The power also
the 250 will have twice as much.
30 bhp.
Okay.
The Xpulse is I think 19.
Yeah, so you can start off with an Xpulse, you can jump to a 250, then you can go to a 390, and then of course you have the whole world waiting for you, right? Waiting for your money.
Absolutely.
So the good part is that at the IBW, you will be getting a proper adventure motorcycle from KTM. You'll get the 390 adventure. You'll also get the 250 adventure.
We are hopeful.
Yeah, so we are hopeful that we get a 250 adventure.
Yeah.
So what else was there at KTM?
Yes. The surprise package again, the 890. I think again this is going to be the answer to the triple RS.
Okay.
It's like they've benchmarked it against the RS because the 890 is lighter than the 790 by 3 kg.
Okay.
So which makes it exactly as the same. It's the same weight as the.
Basically, it's lighter than my breakfast.
It is. And also it is exactly the same weight as the triple RS now.
Okay.
The 790 was heavier.
Okay.
It makes about 120 bhp.
Okay.
The RS is 123 bhp.
Okay.
And the main thing is the torque. It's 99 Nm, and that's 20 Nm more than the triple RS.
So basically, the 790 did not lack for power.
No.
Right?
No.
Or did it lack for torque?
No, it's the best in class.
Yeah, so it did not lack for power, it did not lack for torque, and KTM being KTM said, screw that, here you get more power and more torque.
And that's not just it, you got adjustable suspension now. So, which was not there earlier, so that's sorted.
But screw all that, man, more power. More power is always better, right?
It's always better, but I don't know. And the best part is that
you don't know what, that if you fall off Lavasa.
There's more torque, but it's developed at a lower RPM. So it's going to be crazier because right now already the bike is it's relentless. It goes to the red line every time you start at about 3,000-4,000 all the way to 10,000.
So it'll be like
keeps pulling,
full
never
man.
stops.
Will it be offered in India?
I think so, but after 2 years.
After 2 years?
Not right away.
After 2 years?
Yeah. 790 has just come.
So, but 790 came internationally when?
2 years ago.
2 years ago.
2 years ago. Okay.
Yeah. So
fine. Okay. Sorry. 2 years later, you'll get the 890.
It'll be quite similar.
When does the BS6 790 come?
So, the KTM guys at the launch were saying that they have about 100 bikes which have been imported, CKDs. Those are all Euro 5. So it's almost BS6. They'll have to make a few changes. That will be done in India. So I think after the first 100, all the bikes after the first 100 will be BS6 compliant.
Will that have an increase in price?
I think so because it's the 8.64 price tag is introductory.
Okay.
So the price is going to go up. It's going to be quite higher.
And all these 100 bikes have been spoken for?
I don't think so. Last time we spoke, about 60 bikes were sold, and that was about a month back. So maybe already sold out. I think so.
Okay. And the Street Triple RS, that also isn't BS6.
The new one, it's Euro 5. Again,
it's Euro 5. So when is that coming? December?
January.
Yeah. So it'll come in January and it'll be available for about 2-3 months because obviously by April you have to have a BS6.
Yeah. I think again they'll. Being a CKD again, I think they'll import about 25-30 units, and as per the demand, it will go on. Unlike the KTM, because KTM has about 400 outlets, I think Triumph would be having barely about 40.
Oh, they have 40? Okay.
Maybe, I don't know. Okay. Just guessing.
Alright, okay. So that was at KTM. Let's talk about another Indian manufacturer at EICMA. That was Hero MotoCorp. They've always been there at EICMA. And now they're showing us interesting motorcycles, which is not like 2 years away because the Xpulse was shown as a concept 2 years before it was finally launched. I was there when we saw the concept, and then we waited 2 years for the bike, right? I don't know why it took so long, but anyway, now they've shown another Xpulse, the Xpulse Rally.
Yeah.
And
that's it's not a separate motorcycle actually.
So before we talk about all of that, Hero is not doing what they used to do in the past. What they showed is what you can buy.
Yeah.
And
now, right? What have they shown?
So, the rally kit, as they're calling it, it can be retrofitted on the existing Xpulse.
Okay.
It gets so many things. First of all, it's going to be a scrambler.
Okay.
That's not happened anyway, but still we are okay.
What do you mean it's going to be a scrambler? Means?
I thought they were going to launch a scrambler edition of the Xpulse, so that's not happening. So, but this is very close. Mind you, this is not street legal, so...
come on, man, talk about what is there.
So it's got Max's rally tires. There are no indicators. The seat is higher. It's got adjustable suspension with a lot more travel. They haven't mentioned, but I'm guessing about 250 or so.
Okay.
Seat height is going to be about 900 mm. If you look at the pictures, I think so. It's got a new seat. Ground clearance it's 270 mm, which is crazy.
It's got an Akrapovic.
It's got an Acra,
that's what, man. Does it have more power?
It should be able to. I mean, they're probably doing an air filter exhaust sort of.
So basically, this is a kit that you can buy from a Hero dealer.
Yeah.
Any Hero dealer?
Any Hero dealer starting next month.
How much would it be priced at approximately?
I think without the Acra, it'll be about 50,000.
With the Acra?
1 lakh plus.
Okay, so you pay twice the price of the bike. Right? But whatever, you get a bike that you can now go and compete in the Desert Storm Rally.
You can.
In the Raid de Himalaya. Unfortunately, that's not running this year. But if it runs...
And the Xpulse was already quite capable.
Quite capable, right?
Machine,
and this is homologated now for motorsport use.
So that's what they did. They homologated the bike first, and then they got the same kit which is on the rally bike for owners to buy.
So now, if you want to take part in off-road rally, or even an off-road race.
Or if you just want to buy a off-roader which is a little more dialed up than what your regular Xpulse is. Yeah?
It's not road legal, so Abhishek has made that very clear. No, he's... what, were you a lawyer in your previous life? Or? So anyway, so he's made it very clear. It's not road legal. And this doesn't have indicators. And it doesn't have a number plate hanger also. But even on my Kawasaki, I just put a sticker. Huh? I'm not going to put a bloody number plate.
But it's got mirrors.
So, it's got mirrors. It's got mirrors, yeah.
I think Formula 1 also has mirrors.
Oh, Formula 1 also has mirrors. Yeah. True that. So anyway, in rallying, in any case, nobody's going to overtake you, man. You don't need mirrors. So anyway,
unless you're really bad. Unless you're really slow.
But then in any case, Santosh will not be starting behind you. Santosh and Arvind will be ahead of you. So you can buy this rally kit. This is something that's got a lot of traction on our social media also, on Instagram and all that. Yeah. No, compared to even the other motorcycles that
EICMA got more traction than the 390.
Than the 390 also.
Surprising.
I guess affordable, and it looks awesome.
It looks awesome.
What I want to do with our long-term, with the fast bikes, long-term Xpulse is convert this to the rally spec. Of course, we are not going to use it on the road.
Are you listening, Hero?
Hero, listen. So we're not going to use it on the road. We're going to use it at the farm that we've tested our rally cars. We're going to do some off-roading with it. Maybe finally we'll put on a truck, and Santosh has been telling me to come to Big Rock and to ride off-road. I'm too scared of falling. But
get the Acra, please.
Of course, come on. The Acra is the main thing, man, Abhishek. So it looks really cool. I think it's spot on. Great job by Hero. As for the other concept, I don't get it. What was that about?
That basically showed what the future of Extreme is going to be like. So today we are going to have the launch of the Extreme BS6. Today is Thursday.
Today's Thursday.
Yeah. So I think the next generation of Extreme is going to be looking like how it does. The Extreme 1.R it's called right now. I think it looks really nice.
Yeah, I liked it. It's a sharp design from Hero. It's a
160. What is Extreme about a 160, man?
I'm talking about the way it looks. It's a concept.
You'll also get a 200.
You'll also get a 200. But
I'm talking about the way it looks. Have you seen what the current Extreme looks like? It looks like a commuter.
Does it excite you?
The current Extreme, no. This one,
does it excite?
It looks, it's quite exciting.
I heard it looks quite similar to the NS200.
Yeah, it had a bit of Bajaj to its design.
So anyway, but Xpulse Rally, good job.
Again, the 1R is not street legal. It's got slick tires, so keep that in mind.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah, it's got like slick for a 160, man. Come on.
It's a concept, man.
But still, So concept, we should call it a 1600, no? It's a concept, no? It's not a running motorcycle. So what difference? So anyway, let's move on to the other stuff that was there. Now let's go with your brand, Ducati.
Oh yeah, Ducati.
What did Ducati have?
So Ducati already showcased the Street Fighter V4 before the EICMA thing happened. I think it was on 23rd last month. Again, crazy bike.
What is crazy
As
about it?
always. Now we suddenly have something called Hyper Naked, which did not exist earlier. Started with the Brutale 1000. You can read about that in the current issue. It's got 208 bhp.
It's got more horsepower than the V4S.
No, it's got less. 4 bhp less.
Oh.
But it's still okay.
Really?
It's fine. It's
4
just 4
bhp
bhp.
makes no difference.
It's got 208 horsepower, 205 bhp to be precise. It weighs only 178 kg dry. I was checking the spec sheet. It's 199 kg curb. That's less than 200 kg. And put that into perspective, the Interceptor weighs dry it's 202 kg dry. And you got 208 bhp horsepower.
Abhishek, is your head hurting? How do you remember all these numbers?
He's got this paper.
No, that Q doesn't have that. Q doesn't have that.
202 kilos, 230 horsepower, 4 horsepower more than this, 170 mm travel, which is 2 mm more than this, which is 1.5 mm. Man, commendable, huh? I must say, it is commendable that you can remember all these figures. I couldn't for the life of me remember all of this. And what you said just now is gone whoop. Oh my head. I hope they're going to, if you're watching this on YouTube, at least you have supers running at the bottom. If you're listening to this on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, good luck. Rewind and listen to all the specs that Abhishek has been spewing out. In a nutshell, that Street Fighter, it looks fucking insane.
Yeah.
It has more power than most mere mortals will be able to handle.
Yeah.
And it is so gorgeous that,
Yeah.
oh man.
It's got winglets, it's a naked with winglets.
A naked with winglets, man. Unbelievable. It's crazy. Now, these are bikes that you stick on your wall. Right?
100%.
You stick on your wall, you dream about it, and eventually when you make it big,
You lose all your hair.
no, man, listen,
And then
I
buy
still
one.
have my hair and I got a decent
I got
motorcycle. Yeah. You don't have a Street Fighter. Huh?
Okay, yeah.
But that's a Street Fighter. What
Yeah.
else?
They also showcased the Desert X concept. Now that's going to be based on the Scrambler 1100. It's still a concept, but it looks like I don't know, it looked like to me like a Dakar bike. You were saying something.
It looks very futuristic.
Yeah.
It's got rally cues in this way that the fairing is in the front and the headlamps are. But I think it's very cool. It's like it's got this slight Tron vibe to it, retro Tron vibe, if I could say that. You know, and for an off-roader, it's the first time we're seeing something like that. I think the only other. I mean, it had the rings like the Africa Twin, but that would be the only connect I could make to any other on-off-road motorcycle. But I think it was damn cool.
So, talking about cool bikes and aero, okay, what about the new Fireblade?
Wow, nice.
Yeah, so, what is the name? It's the CBR 1000 RRR.
Hyphen R. Yeah.
RR-R.
Correct.
What R's are free in Japan, or what? What's with the 4 R's, man, in it?
God knows. But
So, there's race, there is racer, there is rally, there is
More race.
more. Oh, so many R's.
better to call it Fireblade.
Yeah,
It's far better.
Yeah.
Easier to remember also.
the Fireblade, I think it looks really cool. The Fireblades of late recently, they've been very conservative.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You look at the Ducatis, you look at the Aprilias, they look mad, they go like mad and they look also mad. The Fireblade has been quite, conservative. Right? It's the bike that a sensible guy would buy because it would start on the first crank even after 6 months of being parked. But now it looks like MotoGP inspired, with those winglets, all that aero on it.
Yeah.
It looks really cool, and I believe the specs are also right up there now.
Almost there, but it's
Specs man, come on.
It's
now
not,
what is
it's
the power?
not still lacks when compared to the
What's the power?
S1000RR. I think it's 200
The
bhp.
Fireblade
The Fireblade 200
and
bhp.
the S1000RR.
The M edition is 203, I think.
Okay.
And
Now,
it weighs 193. It weighs only 193.
Okay,
Yeah.
Now, what's the suspension travel?
No, super bikes, it doesn't matter.
So the Fireblade, super cool. And another really interesting thing. Now I got the press release here somewhere. If I can get to it.
I would like to add, the Fast
No,
Bikes
wait,
UK
you
guy.
can wait. So this is the press release that we got from the Honda guys. It says the Honda big wing outlet. So that's where Honda's big bikes are sold in India. They're going to expand. So they're going to inject fun of riding in existing and new blah 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 blah. Expect 5 brand new fun models for
I
India.
like how they call them fun models.
Fun models,
Like they know
yeah.
the other bikes aren't fun.
Okay. Boom. Do we do that thing? Boom. We should create some of these sound effects. Yeah. Kachung. So brand new fun models, which Aatish says reflects on the current range, which are not really fun.
No more long term.
Aatish is on @Watish if you want to reach out to him directly. There are all existing 7 fun models ranging from 300cc to 1800cc to get practically brand new with global updates. So that means the Fireblade is coming.
Yes.
Yeah. So the new Fireblade is coming. The updated Africa Twin is coming. Will that be only with the DCT or will it be also
I think
with
it will be only with DCT again.
So only the DCT, but the updated Africa Twin is also coming.
Yeah.
I think it's a very cool bike. Yeah.
Even the CB1000, which is again
the CB1000
cool.
R.
Yeah.
So the new one will be coming.
It's a facelift basically. It's got new color themes and random shit.
More suspension travel?
No, it's the same.
More power?
No.
Not even 0.5?
No, it's the
New
same.
color. Which color?
New color. I don't know.
So we're going to get the CBR1000RR Fireblade SP and the Fireblade.
Yeah, both.
What's the difference between the SP and the Fireblade?
SP is the more hardcore version to put it. No, I don't ask me this question. I'm not a Honda fan.
So, and it says that it's the street legal RC213VS.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So it's heavily inspired by those
the race
motorcycles.
bikes, what Marquez rides.
What Marquez rides, yeah. So Honda has big plans for big bikes in India, which is a really cool thing because now Honda, you connect with them, no? Because every other weekend you're watching Marquez decimate the field, the MotoGP field. Even after he gets spat out of his motorcycle like really viciously.
Yeah.
What happened in Malaysia?
Spectacular.
Oh man,
Crazy.
it's like you look at on the MotoGP Twitter feed and on Instagram, they have these slow-mo replays of his fall.
Yeah.
No, it's like he gets thrown, his ankle first crushes in, then his knees, then he goes face first into tarmac. God, it's like, you look at it and go, oh, you feel physically, it
you're
hurts
doing
you.
100 kilometers now.
Yeah, it hurts you just looking at it.
60, yeah.
But you looking at it, you feel it's painful, yeah.
Scary.
And then he jumped back on the bike and
After that, he was putting photos on Insta and with his elbows like this. That's it. And smiling, all cool, everything is fine.
Is he a human?
I don't think so.
I think he's the new Asimo.
Maybe.
No, Honda developed Asimo so well that they finally renamed him Marquez. It must be an acronym for something in Japanese, right? And they put him on a motorcycle and he's now decimating the field.
It's crazy.
That is unbelievable, man.
Crazy,
what a riding god, really.
Yeah, respect.
Yeah, respect, deep respect for Marquez. Even though, okay, I'm personally an unashamed Valentino Rossi fan.
Me too.
I think all of us here are.
Yeah.
But you have to give it to Marquez. He's a genius. He's an absolute genius. I think we are privileged to see what he's been doing all these years. An absolute privilege to be witness to some to Asimo, to the modern day Asimo, right? So that was Honda. Now I got a list here. We forgot to talk about Husky.
Oh yeah, the Huskies also are going to make an appearance. Apparently, they're going to make an appearance at the IBW. It's going to be the 401. Yeah. The KTM dealerships already waiting for them. They have a separate section, the Bun Garden one.
In Pune, Bun Garden in Pune.
Yeah, sorry. They're preparing for it. I think it's going to be the new 401 which they showcased at EICMA yesterday.
Okay, pronounce the name.
Husqvarna?
No, Husqvarna.
Vitpillen and
Svartpillen.
Svartpillen, yeah.
Svartpillen and Vitpillen.
Yeah.
Best of luck getting our guys to
It basically means white arrow.
So when you go to the Bun Garden dealership, you go and ask the guy, was Svartpillen manje kai?
It means white arrow, I think. And it's black arrow, white arrow.
Oh God. Okay, so just to rewind a bit, Husqvarna is also made in Chakan, outside Pune, at the same Bajaj factory. So the same factory that are making the KTMs, the 200, 250, 390, are also making the Huskies because they share the same engine. And KTM dealerships will now be sort of multi-brand dealerships. So they will have KTM, they will have Husqvarna, and they will also have the new Chetak. So they will also be Urbanite.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So a dealership now will be split into different sections. So you will have the electric scooters on one end. You'll have the nutty motorcycles on the other end.
A bit of a khichdi, no?
A lot of khichdi. Also,
I think so, yeah.
In KTM itself, they have two sections. One for the 790 and others for the 200, 250, 390.
So how big do KTM dealerships need to be now to take in all these brands and all these different sections and electric scooters once they come in?
Crazy. It's going to be fun to...
But it'll be fun. It's great for us, right?
Yeah.
It's great for the biker. It's no more options, the better for everybody, right?
Yeah.
So that was on Husqvarna. Let's talk about Benelli. Now we've done, and you must watch this on YouTube. We've done the first comparison test between the Benelli Imperial 400.
Okay.
That's the motorcycle that they were actually planning 5 years ago for India. I remember seeing, maybe not 3-4 years ago. I remember seeing prototypes in Pune. I was shown final renders of the motorcycle by the earlier DSK guys when DSK used to run Benelli in India. Then DSK went boom, and Benelli's operations also went brrr. And now with Mahavir Auto, which is Hyderabad-based big dealer group, they're back again. The Imperiale finally launched in India. We compared it with the Java. As well as the Java, the classic Java.
Yeah.
There's the Java 42, which is the more sporty looking one, and there's the Java or the plain Java, which is the more classic one, and the classic 350.
Classic 350.
No, the money spinner.
Yeah.
Looking at the classic 350's performance, it's Royal Enfield or Royal Enfield's parent, Eicher Motor Company's share price. Everybody wants to get into
sales performance.
Share price also.
I mean,
he's talking about just the sales performance, not the performance.
I'm talking about the share price and the sale performance, right? So they are a money spinner for Royal Enfield. Royal Enfield is what it is right now because of the sales of the classic 350. So we compared these three motorcycles. Yeah. The verdict is
shocking. It is, but the Benelli is the best out of them.
But why would that be shocking? Because the classic 350 is a World War II machine which has been developed, built, worked on, whatever, but it harks back many years.
Does, yeah.
It harks back to before even I started riding motorcycles, forget testing motorcycles, right? So anybody should be able to make a more refined motorcycle without even thinking.
Yeah.
Right?
And it is far more refined.
Yeah, so that is not shocking to me.
Yeah.
Okay, I would expect a new motorcycle, a new modern classic, whatever you call it, to be better than a Royal Enfield.
Yeah.
Right? But are you buying a classic motorcycle for smoothness or performance?
Okay, so it does.
Or are you buying a classic motorcycle for the heritage? Are you buying it for the cool t-shirts? Are you buying it for the cool helmets? Are you buying it to tie those flags on your handlebar and go brrrr to Ladakh? Are you buying it to create a traffic jam in Manali? I think that's why you would buy a classic motorcycle, right?
Yeah.
For the group of people who buy classic motorcycles, for those weekend rides, for those evening piss-up parties, right? For that Himalayan Odyssey, for Ridermania.
Ridermania, yeah.
For that, piss-up party means piss-up weekend in Goa.
Yeah.
That's why you would buy a classic motorcycle, right? So to me, even though the Royal Enfield does not leak oil, it just marks its territory. Even though it vibrates, but then you have to be a man to ride a classic 350. But that's the whole charm, right?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, fair enough. If you're into that sort of thing, but I
think but I'm an old fart now, so now let's listen to the youngsters' opinion.
No, I mean, if you're going to buy a motorcycle, you want something that's modern, something that's livable, something that's not gonna groan and moan, and you want to enjoy riding it at the end of the day, not just enjoy everything around it.
Yeah.
You got to enjoy the bike for what it is, and I think the Imperiale does that.
Okay.
I've not ridden it, but from what I hear,
does the Benelli brand draw you in and makes you want to buy a Benelli?
Yeah, so I mean, now Benelli's got this image of loud motorcycles and fast. I mean, not fast, but the image of fast motorcycles in everybody's mind, and to shift from there to something like the Imperiale, I'm not sure how that will work. But I guess if it's a solid product, and since it's competing in a market with a lot of demand, it could work.
Okay, it could work. Well, Benelli has developed the Imperiale for India first. Then obviously it went internationally because India was not happening because of all the local partner problems. Now it's come back to India, but the Imperiale has been designed as a complete Xerox of the Royal Enfield 350. It's like they put the classic 350 through a copy machine and then obviously made it a little bit more modern. But that's the Imperiale. The Java. Now the Java, it's the whole brand, the company Classic Legends is run by people who were earlier part of the Royal Enfield story. They know how Royal Enfield went from almost being bankrupt and shutting shop to being this hugely profitable company today. So those guys were involved. I wouldn't say they were the people responsible for it, but they were involved. They were part of the team back then. I rode the Java. In the city, I think it's really nice. It's
easy,
it's flickable. Yeah. It's very, very easy to ride. compared to a classic 350. It's light.
Light about 30 kg.
Yeah, 30 kilos. What was the suspension travel, man, on the Java?
I think 80 at the rear. On the Benelli, it's very low. I think it's 60 or 55 or something.
He's asking about the Java.
But he's giving you more specs, yeah? More specs than you even need or ever thought you wanted. So, the Java, what do you think of it?
Java, you look at it, there's something about it, it's just special. Like I told you, I got a lot of people stopping me on traffic lights and they're asking what this bike is. And I have had the Interceptor for the last 11 months. Everybody has been asking me if it's a Java. They don't care if it's a Royal Enfield, yeah.
Really? Yeah?
Everybody asks if it's a Java, then it's not Java, oh, forget it. It's
That's
been like
interesting.
That. And one uncle stopped me, he must be about 50-year-old. And he asked me to wait for 5 minutes, and he immediately started crying looking at the bike.
Because of that nostalgia.
Yeah, it's something I have never experienced. I had not ridden the Java earlier. But, okay, you look at it, it feels special. But after maybe, I don't know, if I close my eyes and if I think of the riding bit, I don't know. I wouldn't put my money on it.
So, riding bit, Abhishek would not put his money on it. But in terms of the whole appeal of that an era gone back.
See, I don't understand. Second that, like even when we were out shooting the Java, we were washing the bikes. Yeah. And this old timer, he must have been 80, 85 years old. He just rocked up on his Bullet. And he started regaling us with stories in Marathi about how he used to take his Java to Bombay and this and that.
Yeah, so see, it would not appeal to either of us because even I came into motorcycling way after the Java. So it was at the final end of the RD350 and RX100 and all of that, right? But people do have a solid connect with Java. We may not understand it, but we experience it.
We've seen it in our
whenever we ride the new Javas, it's there. People are emotionally connected in it. People are emotionally invested in it. It's unfortunate that you don't see too many Javas on the road. I think they've had production issues or I don't know what, but it's 11 months after it was launched. Now I finally ridden it. It's only last week that I actually rode a Java, which is weird, because we're supposed to be riding motorcycles every single day, and we're riding motorcycles every single day.
All of us, in fact, the bikes we rode earlier were pre-production bikes.
Bikes. So it's only now that we finally got the final production motorcycles. Okay, it's a nice motorcycle. It is engineered all right. I found there was a bit of knocking on the motorcycle. I don't know why that should be there on a modern motorcycle, but overall, not bad at all. I don't think that's a bike that you would use for cruising. But the good thing is that they've kept in mind Java's past. And Java in the past were more sporty motorcycles than Royal Enfields. So that is the same thing that is happening right now. And in the city, it's much easier to ride a Java, a modern Java, than a Royal Enfield. Compared to an Imperiale, now I have not ridden the Imperiale. You were saying that it's very soft at the bottom, at the rear.
The travel is a problem. I'm about 85 kg. And for my weight, every pothole I was going through, it was bottoming out. So that was the only problem for me. But the ride quality is impressive. If you're not going through potholes, that's fine. It's got a lot of road presence. It's the biggest of them all. It's longest. It's big. It looks like a affordable Bonnie, I would say. And there's something
which is high praise. Affordable Bonnie is high
it's
praise.
Massive. It looks big. It's got like a lot of road presence. Is
it powerful?
The engine. It's not powerful, but it's got the most torque. It's not as torquey as the Bullet in the low revs, but it revs a bit higher. It goes to about 7,000, so it's all there. It's not as peppy as the Java, I would say. Again, it's because of the weight. Also, it's not liquid cooled like the Java. The Java's got a Mojo engine, so that's way more powerful than these two. Also, it's lighter, so the Java is much faster.
Should we ask him about the bore and stroke also?
I think it's 80 by 77.
Shit, man. This is too good, Abhishek.
Thank you.
So, anyway, so moving on to what else Benelli had at EICMA. They had the
Leoncino. So, again, the Leoncino 500 we just rode, I think, about 2 months back. Quite impressive for a Benelli.
Hey, listen, I want to ride these Benellis. I have not ridden these Benellis.
They'll be coming, yes.
When are they coming?
I think the 250.
You keep saying they're coming.
They'll come. So, Benelli launched the 500, which was immediately followed by the 250. We haven't ridden that yet. Now they followed up with the 800, the Leoncino. It's apparently getting a very good response in Europe, they're saying. So, this goes fairly straight against the Ducati Scrambler and the what is that? Street Twin. What is that bike? Street Scrambler.
Street Scrambler.
From Triumph.
Okay, yeah.
But again, in Benelli's favor, it makes more power than the Ducati even and the Triumph.
And it'll be cheaper?
It'll be not much cheaper, but because the current...
But it has to be much cheaper, no?
It'll
Because
be cheaper by lakh rupees.
Have you seen anybody wear a t-shirt that has Benelli on it?
I have.
Yeah, the
But
Benelli
do you...
guys.
The Benelli guy, yeah, that's uniform, man.
Yeah.
But do you...
I've seen Rishi also, Rishi Manke.
He must have got it free. But that pull is not there. It'll come, right? If you build the brand, it will eventually come. But I think Benelli needs to really focus on building its brand image in India. To me, motorcycles are about the pull. They're about the want. They're not about the need. My need is fulfilled by my Yellowbird, my Ntorq.
Yeah.
That is the fastest thing that I can commute on. Fastest, simplest, easiest, everything. Last night, there was the Range Rover parked in the garage and there was the Ntorq. I went down, I saw the traffic. I came back up, took my helmet, and I took the Ntorq home. Yeah. So the Ntorq fulfills all my needs.
Yeah.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. That bikes need to have that want, that pull factor. The Bullet, the Royal Enfield, right? It now has that pull factor. They make really cool apparel. I want to go and buy a pair of Royal Enfield jeans.
I have.
Brilliant. It's cool.
Yeah.
Rudy, the former president of Royal Enfield, now the head of BMW, at the press conference, at the BMW press conference, he was wearing a pair of Royal Enfield jeans. Yeah, so that's how good the stuff is.
Yeah.
Right. And that is what will lead to more motorcycles being sold. It's the same Harley formula.
Yeah.
Now, Harley makes cool merchandise, cool apparel, and motorcycles also cool.
Yeah.
Actually, speaking of Harley, I'm finally going to buy a Harley.
You're buying a Harley?
Yeah, that Pan America, man.
Oh,
that's really cool, yeah.
Okay.
So, if and when that comes to India, that's a Harley that I would be interested in buying, yeah. You don't think so?
I think it's a different Harley, and I like the direction in which Harley is going. They're trying to appeal to a new age buyer. They're no longer doing just cruisers. They've got that Street Fighter sort of thing going on.
They're facing a lot of criticism for the same reason.
I mean, they would.
I mean,
it's like how Porsche faced criticism when they tried to make a Cayenne, Right. But look what the Cayenne did for them. We're getting 992 GT, GT2s, and we're getting what's that mad Moby Dick inspired?
The 935.
Yeah. So they're making mad cars now because they've got cash from making mass cars.
Cayennes. So the Cayenne is fueling all of this.
So maybe this will...
so what were we talking about?
Harley Davidson.
Harley Davidson, yeah.
This will give Harley Davidson a whole new audience.
Yeah.
And they're also getting into lower capacity motorcycles in developing countries.
So to me, that Pan America looks unlike any other
ADV.
Yeah. Right? It looks super cool.
Yeah.
That one with that orange and grey. It's nothing like anything else.
Yeah.
Okay, that's not the spec that I would buy, but it's actually damn cool.
I'm just scared about how heavy it's going to be.
So I don't think. See, I won't be able to jump it and all of that. Yeah. But as a tourer, okay, I 5-6 years ago I rode with the Harley Davidson guys to Goa for India Bike Week, and at the end of it, my tailbone was throbbing. I was riding the Fat Bob.
Yeah.
It was throbbing, and my tailbone has never recovered from it. So I cannot ride like this. I have to have a more sporty riding position. So that bike, the Pan America, will finally be a bike that I can finally ride to Goa with. And I know a lot of friends who have not Royal Enfields, who have Harley Davidsons. Also a lot of friends who have Royal Enfields. Yeah. So I'll be able to ride with them. Yeah. So that's a cool bike.
And it's going to be fast, huh? They said it's going to be 145 bhp plus.
The specs, man. And what is the suspension travel?
That I don't know.
Come on, Abhishek.
It's more than the GS, but not the travel.
And how much is... how much is the GS travel?
I think travel... must be 180. I don't know.
So that's at Harley Davidson. Of course, the Pan America has been shown before. It's not like a new bike that is just been revealed. They also had something else.
Bronx.
The Bronx.
Street Fighter.
So what's that?
Again, it goes like we were discussing earlier with the Duke, Triple RS, and all those. We also saw a BMW F900R, but we haven't spoken about that yet. So the midweight segment is going to be crazy. There's one bike from every manufacturer, so there's a lot of competition there. I don't know how Harley is going to fare, and it's again a new engine. I think it's called some Revolution something. Revolution. No, X was the 750. I think it's Revolution Twin or something.
Okay.
Royal Enfield, no, sorry, what am I saying? Harley Davidson, they have cool names.
Yeah.
They have a naming department that really does
To be
its
fair,
job.
all the Americans generally have cool names.
Really cool names. Hellfire, the Venom.
Yeah.
What's that Jeep, that SRT plus?
They got
Hellcat.
Venom,
Hellcat.
Demon.
Really cool names, man.
That's a trail.
What train?
A trail cat.
Trackhawk.
Trackhawk.
Yeah.
They might not go around corners, but they sound damn cool going in a straight line. Yeah.
Even the Bronx was called Bare Knuckle earlier, which was
Bare
amazing.
Knuckle, man.
Bare Knuckle would have been crazy. but
Bloody hell.
We'll do it Bronx.
But I don't think I'll be able to ride that yet. My tailbone.
No, it'll be comfortable. You should try the new Fat Bob. It's amazing.
Okay.
Epic.
If
You
my
don't even
tailbone
try.
starts hurting, I'll just park the bike on the side of the road and I'll call you and tell you to pick it up.
I'll pick it up.
Yeah, okay. Like you can pick it up also like that. Yeah. Mard. So, BMW.
Yes, the BMW F900R and the R18 concept. R18 is something very cool. It's a proper cruiser from BMW. It's I think 1800cc.
Yeah.
It looks so good.
Amazing. It's still a concept, but
So if you're listening to this podcast on Spotify or wherever else, you should also watch it on YouTube because you have all these pictures of the bikes here. So it's not just our three stupid faces that are on your screen. No, now it's my three stupid voices if it's on Spotify.
Exactly, yeah.
But on YouTube, it's not just our three stupid
Fair
faces.
enough,
It's also gorgeous motorcycles like the BMW concept.
R18 and the F900R. The F900R, I think it underplays its character. It doesn't look like a BMW right now. Like if you look at the other nakeds, look at the Monster, look at the Triple RS. They're very appealing. The F900 is very, I don't know, it's like the G310R but slightly grown up. So it's not very desirable, but being a BMW, I'm sure it's going to be amazing to ride. No doubt about that.
So Abhishek is not too kicked about what BMW Motorrad had at their stand. So we'll have to move on. Royal Enfield, obviously, they did not have anything of relevance at the EICMA. They made a huge splash. I was there when they showed the Interceptor at EICMA. And I'm telling you, I could not get into the Royal Enfield stall. I was at the Triumph stall. The Triumph stall was behind Royal Enfield. And I was at the Triumph stall looking at the screens that were playing out what was happening when Siddharth Lal was introducing the Interceptor.
I was there too when we really had to muscle our way to the front. I mean, you told me go get pictures for social media. I was like, shit, now what?
Yeah.
You had to really fight your way
and
through
you're a scrawny guy, so you can squeeze in also.
But it
But
created a real ruckus.
And not just among Indian journalists. This was EICMA, Milan. There were maybe 15, 20, 30 Indian journalists max. But the rest of it was packed with European journalists who were really keen on seeing what Royal Enfield had to offer. This time they had concepts.
All concepts. But
Cool concepts.
And they've got a lot of custom bikes on this place.
So cool concepts, cool custom bikes. That whole market that they're creating for concept motorcycles is really smart. But what we were expecting, the BS6 Bullet, the BS6 Classic 350, let's put it that way, otherwise I'll get bojawed. So it's not the Bullet. The Bullet was in the past. The Classic 350, the BS6 Classic 350. Will it be shown at Ridermania?
I think so. At IBW, we expect all the BS6 variants, including the Interceptor. I think the Interceptor and the...
Is Royal Enfield going to go to IBW?
Oh, sorry, Ridermania.
Ridermania.
Too many things happening this month.
Yeah.
So...
Ask him about suspension travel.
Yes. So I think there'll be Interceptor and the Conti GT with maybe LEDs, new paint themes and God knows what else.
But what about the Classic 350?
It should be there. It's been spotted.
So the BS6 will be a 350 or a 400?
It's, as per the reports, it's 350 and the 500 also there. Don't know. We hope it gets OHC.
It'll obviously have to be full injected.
It'll have to be, yeah. Right now the 350 is still not injected. It's still carbureted. So
so finally carburetor FECO.
Yeah.
Injection dalo.
Should be. And
how will injection work up in Ladakh?
Yeah.
How does injection work on the Himalayan up in Ladakh?
It works fine.
It's
fine. Because it works on the KTM also. It works absolutely fine. I've heard R15 owners saying great things about
so all that what people talk about carburetor nature
rich fuel,
bakwas.
No, it's fine. It works.
Yeah, so that's all bakwas.
Yeah.
So the Classic 350 will still look like the Classic 350?
It looks better. It looks like a...
Where have you seen?
Protos are there.
Okay.
It looks very cool.
You're asking Abhishek, man. He knows.
It's got... It looks like a Sportster, Harley.
Okay.
But that's a good thing, I would say. It looks damn cool and it's finally desirable for people like me or him or you, I think.
Yeah, okay.
Should be.
Cool, yeah. So, interesting stuff. Yeah. Are you going to Ridermania?
No, I'm not going to Ridermania. I will be closing issue that time.
Oh, poor fellow, yeah. I think I'll go to Ridermania. One week piss up.
Take your missile and go.
And they have about 10,000 owners already who registered for Rider Mania.
That's what I'm telling you. Yeah, that's
going to be crazy.
That's a party and a half. I've been so when I started off in automotive journalism, that time the Royal Enfield was the biggest motorcycle that you could have, right? So that time Sachin Chauhan, who is now head of rides at Royal Enfield, he was the motorcycle guy at Overdrive when I joined, and he left maybe 6-8 months after I joined. So when he left, I got his long-term Machismo. It made a shit ton of noise. It didn't go very fast, but that time who cared? Yeah, if it sounded loud, it went fast. So I had that. Then I had the Lightning 535, the whole load of bikes, whole load of Royal Enfield. So that's the bikes that I grew up on as a kid journalist. So I still have that fondness for Royal Enfield, but after a while, obviously, I outgrew those bikes because 350, kitna chalaoge? 350.
Yeah.
Right, so I've been for the early Rider Manias. I've been the first big ride that I did was with Royal Enfield, where we rode from Delhi. The plan was to ride to Lahore to watch that. There was a friendship series where India was going to play cricket in Pakistan after maybe 10-15 years. It was called the Friendship Series. That whole ride was called Road to Peace. So we rode obviously at the border. They said that no, you got Indian licenses and Indian number plates, so balls, we're not going to let you ride into Pakistan. So we had to park our bikes in Amritsar and we took the train to Lahore. They had special cricket trains that were running. That was epic, and that's what I'm saying. So where I come from, when I talk about Royal Enfield as the brand, so it's not just the motorcycles.
Yeah.
The motorcycles, if you look at it really, from a hardcore road testing lens, they aren't great. But it's that whole community around it. The experiences. Where else? No. Have you ridden to the Pakistan border? No, but Royal Enfield did that, right? And they keep doing these rides, which are really cool experiences. And of course, the piss up in Goa. That's massive,
Yeah.
So nobody else does that. And nobody else has that wide enough community to be able to do that right now.
Exactly.
Though, that said, I don't see anybody starting and building the foundation to do that in say 5 years. And that's where I think that both Benelli and Java, they need to invest.
Yeah.
No, you cannot
I think TVS is trying with their community.
But TVS isn't a community brand.
No.
They're trying to build one, right? I mean,
Yeah, but RR310, that's their flagship.
Correct.
Right? Is that a bike that will build a community?
Probably not, but what they're doing with it is they're trying to get their factory racers to interact with their community. They're organizing track days at go-kart tracks.
TVS would do really well is build on that motorsport heritage.
Exactly.
So, Rider Mania kind of thing, Motor Soul, that was a good start, right? They had their Dakar bikes there, they had their Dakar riders there. I think it's a good start. It will progress. I think where TVS has a great niche is in motorsport and expanding that motorsport to their audience. And making it more accessible, making it more involving, getting more people to participate, not just in the races at Chennai and Coimbatore and BIC, but like say races in a small park, in a small ground, so get their owners actively involved in that. And I think that's a cool niche for TVS to be in. And fact of the matter is that they are using the TVS racing brand a lot all across their motorcycles. So that's, it's a good step.
Brilliant.
Yeah, it's brilliant. And I think, good stuff. Even now, I think TVS, they send out the coolest invites. So the Motor Soul invite, do we have it in the office?
I think we'll
so we'll show it to you if you're watching this on YouTube. It's a disc brake. And it's an actual disc brake. It's not like one...
From the RR310.
It's an RR310 disc brake. Earlier they sent us pit boards. Which all the monkeys in the office kept changing the names. But it was
They
really
sent a
cool
pair
stuff.
of just one glove for the RTR 160 ride and you had to go and pick up the other one at the ride.
So
crazy thing.
They are using their brain. And more than anybody else, none of the car guys do such cool things. So, well done TVS Motor Company's PR department.
I think only KTM comes close to the experience bit to Royal Enfield, nobody else.
Yeah, I'm still waiting for I wanted that toaster, which when you toast, when the bread pops, it says KTM on it. And KTM also has these tupples. It says brake and accelerate. So eventually I'll get it. They promised me that. Eventually I'll get it.
What is that for the Expo? What do you accelerate with your?
I don't know, man.
I remember this community bit. I had the Himalayan long term. It broke down very close to our office. So the best bit about Royal
So the point is not that it broke down.
I remember this day because he kept calling me every half an hour. Arey yaar, it's stopped again.
So the point is that not the Himalayan broke down. The point
I have not come to the point. Yeah, the point is after that I found one Royal Enfield guy. It was a Bullet 350. So he stopped. Like, sir, गाड़ी बंद हो गया है. मतलब हाँ, sir, मेरे को आदत है, मैं आपको push करता हूँ. So he gave me a tow end of Sangamwadi, which is a straight about I think 8 kilometers away from here. From there, I found a dealer who was going home, and he was like, "Sir, गाड़ी breakdown हो गया." I'm like, "Yes." Okay, sir, मैं आपको tow करता हूँ. He took me to the dealership, and he repaired the bike at about 8 in the night.
So that's the
great.
thing. So forget the fact that a Royal Enfield will break down, but you can get it sorted out wherever you are. Not even in Ladakh,
Yeah, it's the community.
It's everywhere.
Manali, when we drove into Manali for a Volkswagen drive recently. You enter, you pay the green tax that you're supposed to pay, and the first thing you see on the right is Royal Enfield services.
Yes, yeah. And obviously, half the traffic getting up Rohtang is all the Royal Enfields. But the thing is, that's the cool part. No, that is the community.
Yeah.
And you tend to learn how to repair your own bike. You tend to
not tend to learn. You have to learn.
You have to learn
unless you're lazy.
And you know everything about.
Yeah. So I knew how to change cables on the Royal Enfield. I could make it run and get back to the city.
Yeah. Lovely.
So moving on.
Yeah.
Okay. We've got the MV Agusta. At EICMA. You're talking about MV Agusta at EICMA. Fuck me, man. Those bikes look unreal.
So much Russian money coming in. It's helping them in a great way.
Oh, it's Russian moolah, baby.
So AMG didn't help them apparently. Now even Lewis Hamilton was there with AMG that time. They stopped funding. I think about 3 years back. They had some issues with AMG, and now some Russian guy, I don't know the name. He's come on board, and I don't know.
Let's call him Sergey.
So much money, I don't know. The MCS, I think it's called the clutchless. What was that gear shift they had on the
Turismo
Veloci 800? That's ahead of the curve. Nobody had it earlier. Not the Ducati guys, not the BMW guys. MV did that first. Now again, with like I told you, the first Hypernaked was built by again MV Agusta. The Brutale 1000. You get the Siri Oro is 212 bhp, getting to numbers, but the exhaust is not homologated on that, so it's not really street legal. They're saying right now, not legal. So, but they launched the
RPO officer, Wairagade.
But they launched the RR for those who wanted to buy it anyway. So that's one bike. Then they had the Rush 1000, again a very different name for an MV. It's based on the Brutale, and like they had the Super Veloci 800 last year.
So basically,
they had the concept last year.
Basically, these bikes just look like, it's sex on wheels.
It is. It really is.
It's my wallpaper right now everywhere. The Brutale 1000.
It's like, who cares about clutchless transmissions when the bike looks like that? Yeah, you could have a 100cc motor engine into that, and it's work of art.
I just want to sit with the guys who are sitting and designing those motorcycles. What are they looking at when they?
What were they smoking? But
it's the vodka.
It's unbelievable. It's so gorgeous. Now, I don't think it will be as good to ride as any of the other motorcycles.
As a Street Fighter. I doubt that.
I think you didn't mention they finally showed the production Super Veloce. So what you can buy on, hopefully in India very soon. That Super Veloce, man. Fuck.
I think there'll be people buying that because recently somebody bought the Brutale Dragster Pirelli edition that cost 25 lakhs like showroom.
Yeah, but 1-2 bikes don't make a business, do they?
We get to see them. I'm okay. I'm happy with that.
Yeah, but it doesn't make a business case, right? Like in India, Agusta isn't really no hot share. Right?
Nowhere,
where are the dealers? Where is the network?
Nothing is there. No parts.
Nothing. The service. Not great. So these things.
You can
park it in.
And then when you park it in your living room, you don't have to worry about service, right?
Exactly.
So you don't have to worry about parts.
You don't need furniture. I don't have furniture.
So basically, these bikes should be sold through furniture stores, huh? Yeah, so they are works of art, but again, coming back to what I was saying before, you have to invest. You have to invest in building a brand. You have to invest in the network. That's what
I would think. MV Agusta is a gold mine. It's got so much potential if you market it and sell it well.
You think it's got a gold mine, you need to have a gold mine to buy an MV Agusta?
I think if you've got a brand like MV Agusta with you, you're sitting on a gold mine.
But look at it this way: when Harley Davidson came to India, they built the brand. the amount of events they did, the amount of interaction they did. IBW was a Harley Davidson event for the first 2-3 editions. The first day only Harley Davidsons would go in. If you were a Harley Davidson owner, it'd be like you are in first class and everybody else is in economy.
But I'd like to bring, this thing a little back over there.
Back the truck up.
Yeah, because Harley and MV, MV's prices are so exorbitant. Your Brutale is 16 lakhs.
Yeah.
And that's rivaling bikes which are 9 lakhs.
Yes.
And I think that's one issue which these guys are facing because they're just so exorbitantly priced.
True.
And
I haven't been hearing much about Norton.
Yeah,
there was so much of talk about Norton and that Norton, the small Norton being made in India by Kinetic at that Aurangabad or Waluj plant. What happened to that?
I don't know. They had about 25 bikes were there in India.
That special edition, right?
But
what happened to those?
It's still at the factory. I've seen it at the factory.
Because I don't know anybody who's bought a
Even I don't
Norton.
think so.
Yeah, we did it in Fast Bikes in the last anniversary
issue. Yes.
Yeah.
So I heard from one of the Motorreal employees that if you have a dealership, you have to pay extra if you want to have MV and Norton separately. And for both, the fees are different. So if you own a dealership for Motorreal, you can have other brands SWM and HPS. But just to sell those bikes, you need to pay extra.
I don't see how that makes sense. Yeah, no wonder they don't have much of a dealer network. Yeah. So and finally, Kawasaki.
Yes.
Kawasaki didn't have too much in terms of what's new this year. So they used to have the Z1000 SX, which was their sports tourer.
Yes.
It was a faired motorcycle, and it was a little confusing because it was a Z, which means naked for Kawasaki, but then it was faired. So what they've done this year is they've taken the same motorcycle, given it a few tweaks, and now called it the Ninja 1000 SX. So it's essentially the same bike, but with a new name. And
something on the H2?
Yeah, so the ZH2 as they said. So I think
that was showcased earlier.
This just happened before the Street Fighter was coming. So I know it started with the Brutale because they knew the Street Fighter was going to come this year, and they were putting out teasers. MV was putting out cool teasers saying, "Okay, we finally have competition. We are very happy."
Hey, cool teasers, man! What about that cool MV teaser? Which
not cool.
Okay, so I don't want to be sexist. It just looks sexy. Those teasers,
okay.
Yeah, it just looked sexy to me.
Yeah.
Okay, it was objectifying and all of that, and I shouldn't say too much more about that. You can have a look at it.
Yeah.
We can play it out, right?
It's a Super Veloce 800 teaser.
Yeah. So okay, so we are going to play it out. If any complaints, at ABB or at Whatish.
I don't condone that.
So it just looked gorgeous. But anyway, let's go back to the point.
Yeah. So this happened just before the run into the Street Fighter. I think a week or 2 weeks before that, Kawasaki suddenly announced that we're going to have a hyper naked. It's going to be called ZH2. It's basically the 1000, the same 1000 with a supercharger. So again, it passes that 200 mark, 200 bhp, but it's way heavier than both the Italians. I don't know.
Okay, so you don't know, but what do you know about the Bimota?
Again, the Bimota, epic, cool, great bike.
What's with that front suspension?
Exactly. I was reading about it. I don't know still how it works. It's crazy. It's called, I think, Tessie H2, correct. So they have sold Tessies earlier with the double swing arm. So there is no front forks. The swing arm is doing the steering bit as well as the
suspension.
It's the suspension actually, basically. It's based on the H2. I saw that, and I think they had done similar bikes earlier, but still, it's very exciting to look at. I don't think it'll make it into production.
Okay.
But yeah.
Who owns Bimota these days?
It's those three guys, no? It's
no. Taj Tamburini.
I know. So,
yeah, we won.
Oh yeah, he's dead.
Okay, I don't have to be so hard.
I forgot that. Yeah, I don't know who's owning. Maybe Italians or some Russian again.
Chinese.
Could be.
So anyway, that was our Thrill of Riding podcast on the Thrill of Driving podcast series. I hope you've enjoyed watching the episode. This is going out on YouTube, is going out on all the other podcast channels that you have out there. I hope you've enjoyed watching it. If you have any comments, leave it below. Write to us directly on social media, also at Evo India and at Fast Bikes India. We will respond to all your queries or as much as we can. And watch out for our podcast next week. And if you want Abhishek to be back on the podcast, please do give him a shout.
Another candidate, I forgot to tell you, there's a scoop. The Java Perak is launching on 15th, so don't forget about that.
Okay, good stuff. The Java Perak. More power?
More power, more...
How much more power?
I think 3-4 bhp.
Dude, that's a big... Okay, 3-4 bhp.
It's going to be 30 plus.
More suspension travel?
No, it's a bobber.
Less suspension travel?
Less.
How much less? Okay,
No.
So if you want Abhishek to be back talking about suspension travel and power and torque figures and specs, give us a shout. I hope you've enjoyed watching our podcast. This is us signing out.